today we are heading to the thrift store. We are going to find some hidden gems and flip them into some high-end home decor. And then we are going to take those pieces and decorate my dining room for Christmas. You guys, it looks spectacular in there. I can't wait to show you. Let's get started on our first thrift flip. Now, a few of you have seen this piece before. I actually bought this thrifted piece a couple years ago. It is this Nativity. I have loved this Nativity. It is so beautiful. It's a great size. The color tone is beautiful with its light pastels, and the glossy finish is perfect. Don't worry, we are not going to touch the Holy Family, but what has bothered me for years is the color of the base. It's this dark reddish mahogany. The color contrast between the beautiful soft pastels of the Nativity figurines and the dark mahogany wood base is too stark, and I don't love it. So we are going to paint over this base, and we're going to do it in a soft champagne spray paint. What I need to do is tape off the figurines. So I put a plastic sack over the top, then I got some blue painter's tape and taped really well around the ceramic pieces so that only the wood base was exposed. Then I took this piece outside. I'm using some Behr spray paint in a gloss finish in the color gold. I purchased this spray paint at Home Depot. I made sure that the base was completely covered in the spray paint. Once everything was sufficiently coated, I let it dry for 2 hours. Now all I have to do is remove the plastic bag and the blue painter's tape. And look at how amazing this piece looks now. That quick color change made all the difference. The soft champagne color blends in beautifully with the pastels of the figurines. This is the color the base should have always been. It's a 100% improvement. We are going to display our Nativity in a very beautiful and unique way because we want it to stand out. So what I'm going to do is get a large rectangular piece of styrofoam. I have used the styrofoam before. You can definitely see that it has been used. I can use it again. It's not a big deal. It's like the floral foam. So we're not going to go out and buy anything new. We're going to reuse this piece of styrofoam. I'm going to create an arch with 2 large gold branches. I purchased these branches a few years ago at Michael's. If you can't find gold branches like this or don't want to spend the extra money, then just go on a little treasure hunt outside and see if you can find some sticks, and then you can spray paint those gold. So what I did with mine is I poked one branch on one side of the styrofoam block and then poked the other branch on the opposite side. I'm going to blend them together and intertwine the branches so that they are connected. These branches are going to add height and drama to our display. I was thinking, how fun would it be to hang a star right above our Nativity? So I thought about things and I was like, how am I gonna hang a star? And then I remembered during the summertime, I purchased this Dollar Tree plant hanger. It's been in my craft closet for a while. I pulled that out. The black color is not gonna work, but that beautiful shade of gold is. I took it outside and I sprayed the plant hanger in the Behr gold gloss spray paint. Once the first side was coated in the spray paint, I let it dry for 1 hour. I came back, flipped it over, and painted the opposite side. Then I let it dry for an additional hour. I'm going to take this plant hanger and I'm going to poke it in the back, right in the center, in between the branches. The plant hanger is not only going to hold the star, but you can see it straightens out the branches that have a tendency to want to lean forward. So this plant hanger is a great all-around solution. We cannot leave the bottom of the styrofoam plain. We've got to add some beautiful Christmas botanicals. So what I'm going to do is get some stems of white leaves. I took a few and then I got a floral pin and I attached the leaves to the styrofoam with these pins. I also got some pine branches and frosty leaves and attached those to the styrofoam with the floral pins as well. Next, I took my newly painted Nativity and placed that in the center of all the greenery. It is a perfect fit. Once my nativity was in place, I scattered a few branches of gold berries throughout the greenery to add a color contrast. Now we're going to add the star to the plant hanger. We are going to use this tree topper that broke a couple of years ago. I've tried to tape it back together and glue it back together. It's not happening. So we're just gonna use the star now. Now this has got some like round metal on the back, which is so convenient because now we can just take it and hook it right onto our plant hanger. Now we have a star that hangs right above our nativity scene. It's so great that that plant hanger that is newly painted gold blends in beautifully with those gold branches. You can hardly even see it in the back. So the star looks like it's hanging mysteriously above our figurines. We are going to add this beautiful nativity display to the countertop right there in my dining room. But before we do that, we've got to beautify that countertop. Now I've got a mirror in the middle, and so I need something tall to go on either side to balance out that space. I've got these large glass vases that are going to be perfect. Because there is so much glass exposed, I'm going to add a ribbon to the top third. I purchased this champagne ribbon at Hobby Lobby. I'm getting some double-sided tape and I'm placing that on the glass. Then I'm going to wrap the champagne ribbon around the vase and simply press it to the double-sided tape, which will keep it in place. I'm going to add some large topiary balls to the top. These are styrofoam balls. I covered them in pine branches, white berries, and a few strands of gold beads. And then I also poked in a few pieces of gold berries. I added a sparkly snowflake ornament to the center. And then I have these icicle ornaments. And what I did was I threaded some fishing line through the hole on the ornament, made a little hole, and then I'm gonna take a boutonniere pin. You guys know I love using those boutonniere pins because they have those pretty little pearls on the end. And I poked it through the fishing line and directly into the styrofoam. So now these beautiful icicles can drape down from the styrofoam ball. I also added a few segments of the pewter ribbon with the gold Christmas trees. And finally, I wanted to tie in a little bit more of that pewter, so I wrapped a segment of satin pewter ribbon around the center of the champagne gold ribbon and tied it into a bow. I repeated this process with both of my vases and topiary balls. They are elegant, decorative pieces that add height, sparkle, and beauty to each side of the mirror. Now we've got a long countertop in there and we want to fill it up with a beautiful garland. I have a pine garland and I wrapped some Christmas lights around this garland. Then I took a second garland that I purchased at Hobby Lobby. It's this beautiful sage leaf garland. The leaves are frosted and there's some white berries, and I just intertwined those two garlands together. I love the color contrast, and I also love how intertwining these two garlands make it more substantial. I also added some white leaves and gold berries, the same botanicals that I added to the styrofoam rectangle on our nativity display. In the center, I have a computer riser. These are just those risers that you put on your counter to raise up your computer so your posture's a little bit better. Well, I'm gonna use this. It's gonna be fabulous for this display because it's long and slender and it's glass, so you can see all of the pretty sparkly lights underneath. Now it's time for thrift flip number 2. When I go to the thrift store, I will occasionally stock up on pieces for a day just like today where I need something fabulous. Well, the last time I went shopping with Natalie to the thrift store, I picked up this gorgeous cut glass piece. I believe it was either a pendant light or part of some kind of chandelier because there's a hole in the top. I'm guessing this is where the electrical or the light bulb was originally. The crisscross cut glass detail is so pretty. It's very heavy, so I know it's good quality. And the price of this beautiful glass piece was only $7.99. The problem is this thing is dirty, like so dirty. You guys, I think there are remnants of a spider that's crusted up and dead inside. So this thing definitely needs a good wash, but besides that, it is in perfect condition. So after a good washing, it is as good as new. The same time I purchased this glass piece, I also purchased 2 lamps. I flipped these lamps into gorgeous bases for my Christmas trees that are on top of my buffet. Well, I have some leftover pieces from that lamp that I saved. I've got a round metal piece that has a hole in the center. We have a gorgeous crystal topper that held the lampshade in place. The only problem with these pieces is the color. Both of them are discolored. They are quite weathered, so what I'm going to do is tape off the crystal ball and leave the metal piece exposed. I took both of these pieces outside and I sprayed them in that same gold Behr spray paint. I made sure that both of these pieces were sufficiently coated in the gold spray paint, and then I let them dry for an hour. I came back and flipped the circular metal piece over and spray painted the opposite side, and then let that dry for an hour. Now that my pieces are painted, I can remove the blue painter's tape from around the crystal ball, and to look at how beautifully these pieces look now. They look brand new. It's amazing what a quick coat of paint can do. We're going to attach these leftover lamp pieces to our glass piece with some E6000. I ran the E6000 along the rim of my glass piece, and then I took my circular metal piece and placed it over the top. It is a perfect fit. And then I took my crystal knob, added E6000 to the bottom of that, and pressed it over the top of the metal piece, and then I let it dry overnight. Now our beautiful cloche is completed. Look at how pretty this is, you guys. And all we had to do was give this glass piece a really good wash and create a topper out of additional thrifted pieces that we saved from previous flips. What I'm going to do with this beautiful glass cloche is I'm going to place it over a nativity piece. Now we've got an additional nativity that we are going to scatter throughout the garland. This nativity is from Guatemala and it is so special to me. I love it so much. The terracotta pieces match beautifully with my design scheme. I placed Mary and the baby Jesus on top of a marble piece, and now I'm going to take my glass cloche and I'm just going to put it right over the top. This tall cloche draws your eye to this beautiful scene. Now, because I have a cloche on this side, I need to put a cloche on the opposite side because I'm all about symmetry. This was another thrift flip that I did a while back. Inside of this cloche, I'm going to add an angel. And then I simply just scattered the rest of my nativity pieces throughout the garland. I spread them out equally so you could see each piece individually. My floor definitely needs to be cleaned. I have a robot vacuum that is going to help me with that. It is this Omni T30S combo. The T30S Omni comes in 2 different selections. You can get one with the vacuum. That's the combo. That's what I have. But if you're looking for a bit of a lower price point, you can get the T30S Omni. It has all the same amazing features as the combo has. I plugged in the station so that the vacuum itself and the handheld vacuum could charge. I downloaded the EcoVac app, which allows me to control the robot vacuum and mop combo from the convenience of my phone. This also works with Alexa, Google Home, and it is Bluetooth. I filled up the water tank and replaced it back into the station. The vacuum is going to create a custom map of my floor plan. This vacuum has zero tangle technology and 11,000 PA suction, which is so strong. Because of the V-shaped brush and dual combs, it can officially remove hair maintenance through cleaning, which is great. If you have pets as well, this vacuum will easily clean up after them. Look at how well this works. You're not going to have to worry about hair being tangled in your rollers. This vacuum will solve that problem. This vacuum also has True Edge, which gets up really tight and close to any of the edge that it's cleaning around. The adaptive edge mopping keeps the mop pads close to the edges. This will eliminate blind spots of cleaning. It also has obstacle avoidance, so it won't run into any of the items that may be in the way of the vacuum. In my home, I have tile, I have carpet, and I also have rugs. Well, the multi-surface cleaning of this robot vacuum is fabulous because it will mop my tile surfaces and vacuum my carpets and rugs. The combination of the robot vacuum and the mop efficiently cleans the ground on all surfaces in my home. It also has advanced systems which ensure complete debris removal. And then of course we've got our handheld vacuum with different attachments, so I can clean along my baseboards, I can clean in those really hard to get to spots. The handheld vacuum has very powerful suction, which is great for multi-surface cleaning. The various attachments are convenient for vacuuming your sofa, doors, and windows. It also has convenient storage for all the attachments, and it can charge right at the base station with everything else. I press the button and both the handheld and robot vacuum self-empty. I will leave a link to the Dbot T30S combo in my description box, as well as the website, so you can head over and check out all of the amazing vacuums that they have. And now it's time to take our first thrift flip, which was our Nativity, and place this display directly in the center. I love the height that this Nativity adds. It fits perfectly over the top of the riser. And look at how beautiful our completed scene is. I love both of the nativities that we have on our countertop. The thrifted nativity scene in the middle is the showstopper. This draws your eye to the additional nativities that we place between the garland. This is a wonderful addition that fits in with our nativity theme. The tall vases with the topiaries on top add height and scale to the back wall. The cut glass cloche adds dimension with its reflective lights, and it casts a beautiful glow throughout the garland. The cloches are also a great way to highlight those important pieces in our nativity. And look at how beautiful this display looks at night with those twinkling lights. The lights illuminate all of our pieces and bring a bit of magic to our display. Now it's time to set our dining table for Christmas. You've got to start off with a tablecloth. The tablecloth I chose is this cream tablecloth, and it's got some flecks of gold running through. I'm choosing a fairly neutral tablecloth because we want our pieces on top to be the focal point. I'm going to layer a snowflake runner over the top. I like layering my linens. I think it adds dimension and a bit of interest. This is a lace runner with snowflakes on it that I purchased at Hobby Lobby. I want to create a long centerpiece that goes down the entire center of the table. So what I'm going to do first is get a riser. I purchased this riser at Target. It has a marble top. However, this marble top is too small for what I want to put on top. So what I'm going to do is get an additional marble tile. You guys know these marble tiles. I have them throughout my entire house. I love using them. I purchased them at Lowe's. So what I'm going to do is just add this additional tile to my riser. This will give me the additional length and size that I need. On either side of my riser, I'm going to place a marble round. I purchased these marble rounds at Ross. They're elevated just a little bit. They've got teeny little feet on it. So each side gets a marble round. We're going to take some more of this sage garland that I purchased at Hobby Lobby. I actually purchased 3 of them. So we've got 1 for the back wall and we've got 2 for the centerpiece. I wound them around the risers and marble pieces. And then I'm going to fill them with some pine branches. I've got more of those white leaves. I've got some gold berries, a few poinsettias, and 2 white birds. We've got to have some birds in here. In fact, I forgot to mention that I've got birds on my little topiaries up here. So we've got 4 little white birds in here, which tie in all the birds that we have throughout the rest of our house. Because this room is themed with nativities, we are going to add a nativity to our centerpiece. I'm going to add some nativity pieces on top of the marble. Each side gets a camel and a wise man, and then on top of the marble rectangle, I'm going to place the other figurines and animals to the center. I'm going to take a small cake stand, add Mary, Joseph, and the baby Jesus. The cake stand will raise these figurines up. And because we have cloches back here, we're going to add some cloches to our centerpiece. So I've got 1 large one that I'm going to put over the Holy Family, and then I've got 2 smaller ones that I'm going to put over the camel and the wise men. Around these 2 smaller cloches, I'm going to take some more of this ribbon that I have on our bases and tie it around the top. This beautiful pewter satin ribbon will tie in that color scheme, but it will also break up all of that glass and add another detail to our cloches. And then I also have 2 glass Christmas trees that I'm going to put on the center riser. These Christmas trees tie into the glass Christmas trees that are on the foyer table behind. Finally, I've got some glass candle holders, and I'm going to put some white tapered candles inside of this. I love adding candles to my dining tablescapes. The flicker from the candle is so magical. It's what makes this whole space come alive, and I love the warmth and glow that it adds to the tablescape as well. One last piece I'm going to add is this Joy Noel sign. I purchased this at Michael's, and I'm just going to put it right in front of our nativity scene in the middle. And now our beautiful centerpiece is complete. I love that it takes up the entire length of the table. It's thin enough that it doesn't take up too much space, but it's grand enough to make a statement. I love how we're highlighting more of these nativity pieces. Adding the cloches and raising them up on the risers and marble pieces is a great way to do this. The marble is classy, and the ribbons and the garland tie in the back countertop in with this centerpiece. Now it's time to set our individual place settings, and we're going to start with a beautiful snowflake charger. Look at how cute those are, you guys. I purchased 2 sets of 4 at Ross. A set of 4 of these chargers was only $7.99, so that's only $2 per charger. That's a great deal. And look at how pretty the detail is along the edge. Oh, I just love it. Okay, so each place setting gets 1 of these beautiful snowflake chargers. To the center, I have a white plate. This has a gold rim around it, which ties the charger and the plates together. To the center of our white plate, I'm going to add a smaller salad plate. This is a paper plate, you guys. I purchased these at Home Goods. Using paper plates is a great way to save money, but it also cuts down on cleanup because you can just throw these right away, which is perfect during the holiday season. This set of 16 was only $3.99, and it fits in beautifully with our color scheme. It's got the white and the gold, and I love these scalloped edges around it. Now that our plates are set, it's time to move on to thrift flip number 3. Each place setting needs a napkin. And I found this bag of cloth napkins at the thrift store. It looked very promising, and I figured I had nothing to lose because the price of this entire bag of napkins was only $4.99. I pulled these napkins out of the bag, and they were in great shape. A few of them were a little dirty, but that's nothing that a good wash in the washing machine can't fix. You guys, there were 12 napkins in this bag. That's such a great bang for your buck. I couldn't believe how many were in there, and for $4.99, that was definitely a score. Now, we do not want to leave these napkins plain. We want to theme them into the holidays. So what I'm going to do is add a Christmas tree to the corner of these napkins. I created a Christmas tree design on my Cricut design space. My Cricut Maker cut out these Christmas trees on some smart iron-on vinyl. I weeded away the excess vinyl from around each of the Christmas trees and then cut the Christmas trees out individually. Even though I have 12 napkins, I'm only going to be adding Christmas trees to 8 of them because I have 8 place settings in there. So the additional 4 napkins I can just put in a bread basket to cover everything up. Don't worry, we will definitely use them. So what I'm going to do is heat up my Easy Press to 330 degrees and set the timer for 30 seconds. I placed the Christmas tree right in the corner of the cloth napkin. Then I put my Easy Press over the top, hit the start button, and once the 30 seconds were over, I removed the Easy Press and then peeled away the protective coating. Look at how pretty those Christmas trees are on the napkins. Oh, I love it so much. That champagne gold is the perfect shade of gold. So after my first Christmas tree was in place, I just moved on and continued to do this with the remaining Christmas trees and napkins. I put them on the corner of my napkin and then I put the Easy Press over the top. Once the timer was up, I pulled the Easy Press away and then removed the protective coating. I did this with each of my 8 napkins. Can you see how stunning I tell you, that Christmas tree looks on the corner of that napkin? It was so easy to do, and for $4.99 for 12 napkins, that is a great bargain. So what I'm going to do now is get a napkin ring. I purchased a box of these Christmas tree napkin rings from Ross. A set of 4 was only $7.99. The problem was I could only find 1 box of these napkin rings. So what we're going to do is combine the Christmas tree napkin rings with these gold and crystal round napkin rings. This is a great solution if you only have enough napkin rings for half of the table. There's nothing wrong with intermixing 2 different types of napkin rings, especially if they are in the same color family. This has gold on it and this is solid gold, so they coordinate. I'm going to alternate. I'm going to put the napkin with the Christmas tree napkin ring down first, and then the napkin with the crystal napkin ring. I alternated those throughout the table. Now it's time for the silverware. I've got my favorite B monogram silverware that I'm going to add to either side of my plate. And then I've got my goblet in the back, and then next to that I have a smaller cut glass goblet. This pretty goblet is for a specialty drink. Usually we put some sparkling cider in here, but I've actually made Jell-O and put Jell-O in here before, which everybody loved. But you could put some fruit or something else in these little specialty cups and just place them right next to your drink goblet. And the thing that I love about these cut glass cups is that it coordinates beautifully with our cut glass cloche, so those items tie together. Our table settings and our centerpiece are now finished, and this table is ready to be admired. This entire tablescape is beautiful and classic. If you notice, we kept the color palette very neutral. We don't have any one color that overwhelms or takes over the space. Everything is light and bright. Because we want this room to be full of nativities, we were able to add those beautiful pieces, not only on the back wall, but here on the centerpiece as well. Because for us, Christmas is the celebration of the birth of Christ, so we want that to be front and center. We have nativities on the tablescape. We've got the terracotta nativity from Guatemala on the countertop. And of course, we've got our thrifted nativity in the center. The final piece in this room is this foyer table over on the side. Do you guys remember that thrift flip? Natalie challenged me with a light fixture that I turned into a Christmas tree. I placed it on top of a lampshade collar and filled it with ornaments and ribbons and poinsettias. It's an elegant Christmas decoration that coordinates beautifully with this room. And then on that table, I also have more of those glass Christmas trees, which tie in with the glass Christmas trees on the centerpiece. If you look around this room, you can see that each of the pieces tie together because we use the same ribbons, we use the same color scheme, we use the same theme like cloches and nativities, our garlands coordinate together. Everything ties together in an elegant and classy way. I love that this is the first room that you see when you enter my house. It's a great representation of what we believe Christmas is all about. I loved that each of our decorations were very affordable. We purchased them at the thrift store and we were able to transform them into something that is prettier than it originally started out as. The base of the nativity looks so much better than it was originally. The light fixture cloche is a beautiful way to highlight a nativity piece. Our napkins are an affordable way to get a custom linen for Christmas. And you would never know that all of these pieces were from the thrift store because they look so high-end and so expensive, which proves that you can live beautifully. You can do it throughout the Christmas season and you can do it on a budget. I hope you got some inspiration or some ideas today so you feel like you can decorate your home beautifully for Christmas and you can do it affordably. Well, you guys, this is the final room that we've had to decorate. We have been decorating since October. Yeah, it's been a long process, but I wouldn't change anything about any of the decorations throughout the house. It feels so festive. It feels magical. It feels like Christmas. The Christmas home tour is coming up, so you'll be able to walk through this entire fully decorated home and to look at all the pieces that we've been able to make throughout these last few months. So make sure you're subscribed so you won't miss out. Well, I appreciate all of you so very much. Thank you for watching.